unexpected reunion, Ethan had always lived life at full throttle. As a self-made millionaire in the fast-paced tech world, his days were a whirlwind of meetings, investments, and launches. But beneath his confident exterior was a man craving something more genuine, someone to share his successes and vulnerabilities with. Julia, an art curator with a passion for beauty and stories, had entered Ethan's life a few months ago. Their connection had been immediate and deep, though Ethan's hectic lifestyle sometimes made Julia feel like she was getting only glimpses of the man beneath the wealth. To surprise Julia and show her his world beyond the boardrooms, Ethan decided to whisk her away on a weekend trip aboard his private jet. He imagined it as a perfect blend of luxury and intimacy, a chance to escape the noise of everyday life. They arrived at the small private terminal where Ethan's jet was waiting, sleek and polished under the afternoon sun. Julia's eyes sparkled with excitement, thrilled by the exclusivity and elegance. But before they could board, a woman approached the plane with calm authority. Julia noticed Ethan's face tighten ever so slightly. The woman was striking, confident, poised, with an easy grace as she checked the plane's systems. Ethan's introduction was brief. "Julia, this is Mila, the pilot for our flight." Mila's eyes met Ethan's, a flicker of past memories passing silently between them. Julia extended her hand with a warm smile, though inside a storm of questions brewed. Who was this woman from Ethan's past? How would this unexpected meeting shape their trip? As they boarded, Ethan's excitement mixed with unease. The surprise he'd hoped to give Julia was complicated by the history standing so clearly between him and Mila. Julia took her seat by the window, watching the runway as the engines roared to life. The moment was filled with a tension that no luxury could mask, but also a strange sense of possibility. This trip would be more than just a getaway. It would be a journey into the tangled webs of love, forgiveness, and new beginnings. The flight and conversations. The cabin hummed softly as the jet soared above the clouds, the world shrinking into a blur of blues and whites beneath them. Julia sat quietly, her mind a whirl of thoughts. Mila, seated in the cockpit, handled the controls with practiced ease, but every now and then, Ethan would steal glances toward the front, a mixture of tension and nostalgia flickering across his face. Julia felt a strange mix of emotions, curiosity, unease, but also a surprising calm. Despite the initial shock of meeting Mila, she noticed something genuine in the way Mila spoke about flying. Their shared stories about overcoming fears, chasing passions, and dealing with setbacks began to bridge the invisible gap between them. Mila, for her part, was guarded but kind. She never spoke directly about Ethan or their past relationship unless prompted, but her eyes held a softness when she glanced at him. Ethan struggled silently with the ghosts of old mistakes, words unsaid, regrets buried under layers of pride. At one point, Julia asked Mila why she chose to become a pilot. Mila smiled, recounting how flying had given her a sense of freedom she never found on the ground. Julia, in turn, shared how art had been her refuge, a way to express what words could not. Slowly, a fragile connection formed between the two women, built on shared vulnerability and unexpected respect. Ethan watched, feeling an unfamiliar emotion swell inside him, a mix of admiration for Mila's strength and gratitude for Julia's open heart. As the flight continued, Ethan found himself opening up in a way he hadn't in years. He confessed to Julia his fears about being a better partner and the weight of living in the shadow of past failures. Julia listened without judgment, offering a gentle reminder that love was a journey, not a destination. By the time the plane began its descent, the air between the three had shifted from tension to understanding. The flight had become more than a trip. It was a moment of healing and hope. Landing and revelations touching down at their destination, the city buzzed with life, a vibrant backdrop for the emotional storm swirling inside Ethan, Julia, and Mila. As they disembarked, the reality of their intertwined past and present settled heavily on their shoulders. Over dinner that evening, the conversation turned inevitably to the past. Ethan and Mila faced their history head-on, unearthing the reasons their relationship had ended. misunderstandings, ambition pulling them apart, and unspoken fears. Mila revealed how she had felt abandoned, not just by Ethan's absence, but by his unwillingness to communicate. Ethan admitted he had been scared, of vulnerability, failure, and losing control. Julia, listening carefully, saw the cracks in both their facades, realizing that love's messiness often lay hidden beneath polished exteriors. Instead of reacting with jealousy or anger, Julia expressed empathy for Mila's pain and for Ethan's struggles. She confessed her own insecurities about entering a world shadowed by past wounds. The honesty opened a door for all three to find common ground. That night, under the city lights, Ethan and Mila found a way to forgive, not necessarily to rekindle what was lost, but to release the past's grip. Julia, embracing her place in Ethan's life, felt empowered by the strength she saw in both of them. The revelations had shaken them but also brought clarity. What mattered was not erasing history, but learning from it, allowing each of them to grow. New beginnings and forgiveness. The next morning dawned with a fresh sense of possibility. Ethan, Julia, and Mila met for breakfast at a quiet cafe, away from the buzz of luxury and expectations. Here, without the pressure of appearances, they could simply be themselves. Ethan apologized sincerely to both women, not just for past mistakes, but for the silence that had caused pain. Mila expressed gratitude for the chance to close a chapter with grace. Julia shared how the experience had taught her about resilience and trust. They talked openly about boundaries, respect, and what they each wanted moving forward. Ethan promised to be more transparent and present. Julia committed to nurturing their relationship with honesty. Mila revealed her hopes to continue flying and live life on her own terms, through forgiveness and understanding. They forged a new kind of relationship, not defined by jealousy or rivalry, but by respect and compassion. This chapter was not about love triangles or drama, but about the power of human connection to heal wounds and create something beautiful, even from brokenness. The journey forward. Back in their hometown, life settled into a new rhythm. Ethan and Julia's relationship deepened, strengthened by the challenges they had faced together. They learned to communicate better, embracing vulnerability as a bridge rather than a barrier. Mila pursued her passion for aviation with renewed vigor, occasionally staying in touch with Ethan and Julia, not as a reminder of the past, but as a friend who had played a vital role in their journey. The experience reshaped Ethan's understanding of love, success, and what it meant to be truly present for someone. Julia discovered the courage to stand firm in her own identity, confident in the love they were building. Their story became one of growth and grace, a testament to the fact that sometimes the most unexpected encounters lead to the deepest transformations. And above all, it showed that love, in all its forms, requires forgiveness, not just of others, but of ourselves.